Hello, First Lutheran family. This is Pastor Phil wishing you a Merry Christmas week. I hope to see you this Friday, Christmas Eve, at either our 5 o'clock service or our 11 o'clock service. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas day with your family, and then I hope to see you again on Sunday, where our 8:15 will be a standard service. Our 10:30 will be a hymn sing our musicians have put together, so we're really looking forward to that. Great way to celebrate this wonderful season. I hope to see you in worship here at First Lutheran. So I'd like to honor this week by doing something very Lutheran, and that is argue with Luther. Luther was never one to insist that you should listen to him because of who he was. He would say the Pope does that, but that you should listen to him because he's right, that he's understood the scriptures and explained them properly. That sort of situation creates what we call the church ever reforming. The Lutheran movement sees itself as ever reforming, ever coming to a deeper understanding of the implications of the gospel. And sometimes that requires conversation, debate, even argument, in order for the church to do the work of theology, which is explain and produce the truth. So I think to argue with Luther is particularly Lutheran. And so I'd like to take exception with something that he said in his Christmas sermon in the year 1530. He was talking about receiving the word. He was talking about hearing the gospel story. And basically what he says is that if you hear the Christmas story, the angel, Mary, the birth, the wise men, if you hear that story and don't have joy over it, then you're not a Christian. Now, I know what he's trying to say when he says that. He's trying to say that the Christmas story, together with the whole story of the good news, should impact your life. And if it doesn't, there's a problem. If you hear the good news, if you hear the Christmas story and dismiss it and just go about your business, and it doesn't bring you to a devotion, a change of life, generosity, faith, maybe even joy, then there's a disconnect there that maybe shouldn't be there, or that you'd hope wouldn't be there, because the story should impact your life. We hope when we hold worship here and tell that story again that people are impacted by it and are guided, led to greater devotion towards God. That's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do. But I think there's a real problem when you hinge everything upon how you feel at a particular moment. Now, you may argue, well, joy is more than a feeling. Joy is not happiness. Joy is something deeper. Joy is something you can have in the midst of any kind of feeling. I understand that, but I don't think that people make that connection when they hear what Luther says. When they say, oh, if I don't have joy over it, I'm not a Christian. I think that sows a seed of doubt that doesn't need to be there. Because our feelings are fickle and fallen, like the rest of us. We don't always feel the way we should about something or the way we wish we did. When a friend succeeds in business and life, we should feel happy for them, but sometimes we feel jealousy. When we make a mistake, when we do wrong, we don't always feel the seriousness of that. We sort of dismiss the wrong things we do and judge harshly others. So that's a place where our feelings are askew from what maybe they should be, but it's a reality. You can't change how you feel sometimes. So I've known lots of people in my journey that have hung what I consider too much weight on their feelings. I've known people who were very committed Christians, church attending, communing, involved in Christian education, deeply faithful people who have gone off on some kind of retreat or some sort of, Christian outdoor ministry, anything like that, some special venture, and then have come back saying, well, I was saved for the first time this weekend. I became a Christian for the very first time because of the feelings that I got when I was on this thing. Now, I don't begrudge anyone going off and having a wonderful time and having an emotional experience with God. We all hope for those times of refreshment. But what does it say when we say, well, I became a Christian for the first time then, because of how I felt. What about the people who didn't get that experience? Does that mean God doesn't bless them, that God's not with them? It's hanging too much on fickle feeling and experience. I've told several people this in Christian education. When I am presiding at Eucharist, sometimes I am so aware of God's presence and so thankful to be a part of that experience that I've been able to do this as a profession to bring people both the Word and the Sacrament. Sometimes I'm deeply aware of that, and my feelings are drawn along by that. I feel blessed. Sometimes I don't. Now, does that mean God has changed, or is it because of me? My feelings are fickle. I don't always feel like I should when I'm presiding at Eucharist. Sometimes I'm thinking things that are very trivial, and I try to school myself towards a devotional state of being when I'm doing things like that, but I accept the fact that I'm just a human being, and it's not God that's in the wrong there. It's not that I need to think that I'm not a Christian, I'm not a pastor if my feelings aren't a certain way. It's the fact that feelings are fickle. I think that there's a pressure in this season to be happy. I think that there's an expectation that is unsaid that we're all supposed to be like Ebenezer Scrooge on the day after the spirits came, running through the streets full of joy. And if we allow that to sow a seed of doubt in our heart, then we've certainly gotten astray from what this season is supposed to mean to us. Another just anecdote on this, and this is quite personal, but when I first became a Christian, actually, when I first heard and believed the Word and started attending church in college, there were people who believed that in worship you should respond emotionally, and if you didn't, you weren't taking it seriously, sort of like kind of what Luther was saying. And so there were people who would raise their hands and cry and get down on their knees and whatnot. And the understanding of this community was that those were the people who were taking it seriously. They really got the gravity of it. Well, I just don't respond that way to things. I have feelings, but I am not exuberant. If you know me, you know that that's the case. And so it did sow a seed of doubt with me as a young man at that time, not knowing more about the faith, that, wow, I'm not crying. I'm not, lifting my hands and getting down on my knees. Does that mean that it doesn't mean anything to me? Am I not taking it seriously enough? And of course, the understanding I came to was simply that people are different. People respond to things differently. Not everyone's the same. And so when we try to lump everything in to say, well, if you don't cry and fall down on your knees, if you don't feel this way, if you don't have all this exuberant joy, then you're not a Christian, or you're not Christian enough. That just, quite frankly, isn't what I see in the Scriptures. What I see is a God who's with us regardless of how we feel. We hope to have joy. We hope to have happiness. But when that joy is absent for some reason, whether just because randomness of being a human being, or because we've suffered a loss, because we're not with people that we wish we could be with this season, if there's sadness that comes along with this season, that doesn't mean that God's blessing is not upon us. In fact, I believe God's blessing is especially upon those who struggle to find joy in this season, that God's presence is especially with you. It was to a broken, fallen, sad world that God sent Jesus as his son to be born in the manger. That's the good news, and it's not dependent upon you being happy about it. I hope that everyone listening to this is happy and joyful, but if you're not, God most certainly is with you anyway. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed me arguing with Luther. Hopefully he won't get too mad when we see each other in glory that I've done that. But I think he might be pleased in some way. But we'll see. So happy Christmas to you, and we'll see you in worship.